Welcome to the Lose Weight by Eating podcast. I'm Audrey Johns, and I'm really excited to bring to you this new type of content, very different from what I've done in the past, but I really want to be a little bit more present with all of my readers, and I figured this is just the next step. Again, my name is Audrey Johns. I am 43 years old. I'll be 44 on March 3rd, so that's coming up pretty soon here. I am a cookbook author for HarperCollins. I have 4 cookbooks with them. I've also done a ton of time on television. I was a regular on the Rachel Ray Show. I've done the Today Show. I got to cook with Kathy Lee before she left. And I also did a run on ABC's The Taste. It was a television show that was very similar to The Voice, and I can't wait to share with you all of my experiences from that wonderful show. I'm also a social media foodie, so you'll probably see some of my content on Instagram, and you can see what I'm eating on a daily basis, what I'm excited about, the fun finds I might find at the store, etc. So let's get into it. Like I said, this is my very first time podcasting. I have a little note here for myself that I'm reading through, making sure I hit all the points I want to do. But what I think the most exciting thing I want to share with you today is that it's the first day of the podcast, and I'm actually going to drop 2 episodes for you today. I want to bring you lots of fun, free content, and that's the goal. So I first want to tell you where I started. I actually struggled with weight loss for years. If I want to think back to when it started, it really started as a child. I was bullied in school a lot. I grew up in the 80s, so kids would call me Audrey the Giant instead of Andre the Giant. I was bullied in high school a lot. Funny enough, I was a size 6 in high school, and that was fat to the kids then. And now I'm thinking, wow, we would all want to be a size 6. So I really struggled for years. I even had bullies within my family. One person still within the family, and I don't want to cause too many issues, but there is an aunt that left the family, and one of my core memories, one of my core traumas was at Christmas, standing in the kitchen with her, helping her cook something, and she lifted up my t-shirt and poked me in the stomach and said, "Wow, you're getting a little chubby." And it has taken me years to even be able to say that. It's taken me lots of therapy to be able to say that, to be able to bring that to you, to be able to process what that was like, not just being bullied from a very young age by my peers, which happens, right? But also being bullied by family members. My mother put me on a diet. I think she kind of tried to hide it. I found cookbooks hidden in her bedroom that said, how to help your teenage daughter lose weight. I'm not saying that was the name of the book, but something along those lines. And it really messed me up for a long time. I know that when it came to my mom, it all came from a good place. And I also know that a lot of women my age and older were all put on diets by their mothers. And it came from a good place, but I think it's time to change that. I think it's time for us to be better to our kids. I think it's time for the body positivity movement to really flourish. And I recently stumbled upon an Instagram gal that I follow. She's absolutely amazing. And I've forgotten her name, but I will definitely, if I can figure out this whole podcasting thing, I'm going to put it in the description or in the notes below. She's very much into the body positivity movement. And she posted something just recently showing a graph of the body positivity movement and how it was just ramping up in such a great way all through COVID. And now it's declining and the weight loss industry is, taking its place. And I think you can lose weight in a really healthy body positivity way. And that's what I want to explore here on the podcast. That amongst many other things, but I think it's time for us to make self-care happen in the kitchen. You know, if we're going to love our bodies more, we should be feeding our bodies what they need, right? So I think weight loss can happen in a way that is healthy and that is not about starving ourselves and definitely not about depriving ourselves. If you're familiar with Lose Weight by Eating, you already know I have more pizza recipes than anyone would ever need. They're all low calorie and healthy and delicious. I love pasta. I can't tell you how many keto people send me nasty messages on social media because, oh, there's carbs in that. I'm not going to give up carbs. I am an Italian woman. I am proud. I love my pasta and I'm not going to give it up. Now, if you want to give it up, I can definitely give you some great tips to find alternatives. Bonza pasta is my favorite go-to protein pasta. We can find ways to eat and lose weight. We can find ways to love our bodies and get healthier. And that's what I want to explore. I want to take the body positivity movement and the weight loss, I don't want to say industry, I don't want to be part of the industry because most of it's BS. Most of it's just trying to sell you something. I am all about bringing free content to you because I don't think weight loss should cost anything. So off that tangent, back to I want to bring the body positivity movement and weight loss together and make it something healthy and make it something exciting and make it something new. I've recently started connecting more with my readers on social media. I've gone through quite a lot in the last 10 years, including dealing with a stalker. So for quite a few years, I removed myself from social media. I used a lot of we's instead of I, as if to make Lose Weight by Eating seem like it wasn't always me. It's always me. I can't afford a staff. You guys can see I'm managing multiple things right here, just trying to bring a podcast to you. That's if you're watching the video, which you can find the video on YouTube. I started just responding and commenting and asking people what they wanted and posting photos of me and my life and posting videos of me and my life. And I started to heal. It's really scary having a stalker and having them so close in your life that you can't ever remove them from your life. And we'll get into all of that on another podcast when maybe I can have a therapist here with me so you guys don't witness a trigger on camera and on podcast. But the therapy really has been helping, and that's going to be a really big part of this podcast. Without the therapy, I never would have been able to be present on social media. I never would have been able to start a podcast, to video. I haven't done home cooking videos in so many years because I don't feel comfortable working in my home. I found that in connecting with my readers, I was finding myself again. I feel like this is the next step in connecting with all of you. With all of that said, I have quite a lot to share. It's not just going to be therapy and it's not just going to be weight loss. I'm going to tell you stories of my journey with Lose Weight by Eating. The very next episode, we're going to talk about when I broke up with my bathroom scale. I literally threw it away. I do not weigh myself anymore. And I'd like to say that my weight loss journey is over, but I feel like it will probably never be over. It's always going to be something that I'm working on, but I'm trying to make that in a healthy way. And with that said, I threw away my bathroom scale, and we're going to talk about that in the very next podcast episode, which I'm going to launch today as well. So you can just keep listening once this one is over and find out the scoop. But I'm also going to talk about some hard things. I was photoshopped without my consent, and it was traumatizing. I ended up having some body positivity issues because of it. Because when somebody changes a photo of you drastically, then you think, oh man, how messed up were my teeth? Specifically, a copy of a national magazine removed my teeth and put somebody else's teeth on mine. And I know that seems really really small and shallow, but I have enough body positivity issues with weight loss that I don't need somebody pointing out that my teeth aren't perfect. And that's another big part of why I don't want to be visible. And that's something I'm trying to work through. So I was also, this one's hard, and I'm not going to do this episode without a therapist present, but I was groped on television. I have a Me Too story and I'm ready to share it. I don't know if I'm going to share who did it, but there's that as well. There's a lot I've struggled with, and I feel like we can all resonate with different aspects of this. Sure, maybe not everyone listening to this podcast has started a website or written a cookbook, but my struggles are very common, and I want to explore them all with you. I have definitely had some ups and downs. I lost over 150 pounds in just 11 months, and I have, for the most part, kept it off for the last 13 years, but there have been ups and downs. I had a hysterectomy a few years ago. It was a medical necessity, and because of it, I was shoved into early premenopause, and my metabolism was all over the place. I gained a ton of weight. I had a really hard time losing it, and I'm out there being this weight loss expert, and I've put on a good 20 pounds and I can't get it off, but I learned how to do that. I also learned how to give myself a little bit of grace, because as we age, everything gets a little bit harder, including keeping the weight off. And so, like I said earlier, I really want to bring the body positivity movement and weight loss together. My work since my weight loss has been kind of all over the board as well. As I mentioned, sorry, glass of water. As I mentioned, I have written cookbooks and I've started a website. I also appeared on The Taste, which was it's actually a worldwide show. So from time to time, I'll get a message from somebody in a different country saying, "Hey, I just found your episode." Like, what? That was 8 years ago. But I was on The Taste with Marcus Samuelsson, Anthony Bourdain, and Nigella Lawson. And I want to talk about my time on there. I think there's a lot to learn and a lot to grow from on that show as well. I have spent over 2 years just creating tons and tons and tons of free content. I wrote 100 new recipes in 1 month on a challenge for myself. And there's over 300, maybe 400 new recipes on the Lose Weight by Eating blog, or on the Lose Weight by Eating website, I should say. I started creating free weekly meal plans. So if you're struggling and if you don't know where to start, visit the Lose Weight by Eating website, and the meal plan is always right there on the front. Just click on it, and the most recent meal plan that will pop up is this week's, or depending on, if today's Friday, it might be next week's. But I never delete any content from the weekly meal plans. So if one doesn't work for you, just scroll down a little bit more and there's another one. I always share them on Facebook and Instagram. And I also always ask people, what do you want? So that can always be found. And now here we are with a podcast. So before I jump into the next episode, where I'm very, very, very excited to share why I threw away my bathroom scale, I want to explain to you what you can expect from this podcast. My goal is to make it very motivational and fun and uplifting. There's definitely going to be a touch of drama. Like I already said, I'm going to have a Me Too episode. I'm going to talk about why I broke up with my bathroom scale. I'm going to talk about being photoshopped without my consent. We're going to talk about some drama stuff for sure, but I'm also going to bring interviews with some of my castmates from The Taste, and a glimpse into my journey and where I am right now, and how I continue to keep the weight off without the bathroom scale, without adhering to some fad diet. Gosh, guys, I have so much to say about fad diets, so you're going to want to definitely tune into that one because it might be a little feisty. I'm going to share as much as I can with all of you, and hopefully we can all resonate, we can all heal a little bit, and we can maybe merge the self-care and the body positivity movement and healthy weight loss and healthy eating specifically together. So please subscribe. Please download my podcasts so you can listen to them in the car or on an airplane or while you're walking the dog. I would really love some 5-star reviews if you're loving the content. It really does help. And also please comment and tell me what you want to see here on the Lose Weight by Eating podcast. So stay tuned. The very next podcast is up next. And thank you so much for listening and or watching, depending on where you're getting your podcast at. Again, I'm Audrey Johns, and happy cooking.